Hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today for Elevate, Lead, Succeed. Step into your big queen energy. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for making the time to come and join me today. I understand that your time is precious. We all have a limited amount of time. It's the one thing that we'll never get back. But it's really important that you take the time to work on yourself sometimes. So I just want to congratulate you on that, whether you're here live or catching the replay. I'm really excited to share this space with you today and show you how to lead with confidence to create more impact, more freedom, and more income by stepping into your big queen energy. First of all, let me introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Leonie Bolt. I am a wife, I'm a mother to two preteen girls, and I've been an entrepreneur for nearly 20 years. So I've had many businesses over those years, including my own photography studio, e-commerce store. I've run wedding expos. I've had stalls at the markets. I've had a coaching business. And I've also become an international best-selling author, podcast host, and speaker. I've owned a multiple six-figure photography studio for the past 8 years. And for the past 10 years, my focus has been on empowering women to step into their confidence and create change in their lives. I've witnessed thousands of women change their reality by investing in their self-confidence and breaking down the negative self-talk that was holding them back. When you step out of your comfort zone, you soon realize whatever it was that you were scared of is not really anything that you need to fear. When you step out of your comfort zone, you realize there's actually all this magic on the other side. You start to attract more awesome things into your life, and the things that are holding you back will just magically start to slip away. I want to share a couple of stories with you. So one of my clients that came to me for a boudoir photo shoot to boost her confidence after weight loss surgery. So obviously had that really rapid weight loss and was suffering body dysmorphia, which a lot of women do when they go through that process. So she'd recently gotten married, and the new husband, even though he's a lovely guy, he didn't bring a lot to the relationship besides bankruptcy and not a lot of motivation, right? So after arriving home from her session, she's got her hair and makeup done, she's got her lingerie underneath. And she got home and realized she wasn't really being valued in that relationship. She wasn't getting what she needed out of it. So she came back to me and we did some coaching together. And she didn't believe that she could be any better than particularly her current work situation. She had a well-paying full-time job, but she didn't finish high school because she'd been a young mum. And so she didn't feel that she could do any better than that. Now, during our time together in the coaching process, I encouraged her to start her own business. She's now got a thriving business, a team of staff. She is constantly stepping outside of her comfort zone because she realized how much magic was on the other side. Another client that came to me for a boudoir shoot was, the opposite. She had the law degree, the high-paying job, the big, beautiful house, the brand new four-wheel drive, the nuclear family, and all the boxes ticked from the external expectations, right? And when she came to pick up her photos from me, she had shaved her head and dyed it pink. And I was like, wow, this is a new look for you. And she said to me, after my photo shoot, I realized I'd spent my whole life living up to other people's expectations, but not actually thinking about what brings me joy, and what's right for me. I've just been ticking the boxes and it's not what I want. So she'd left the husband, left the job, started her own business, building aquariums, and she was having so much fun doing it. It's not all about those expectations of, ticking the boxes, what we should be doing. It's not necessarily what you're meant to be doing. So I wanted to share those with you because I just want you to see that you have the ability to change your life and go after what's right for you. You don't need to fit into a box of what other people think you should be doing. You have the right to live life to the fullest, follow your passion and your purpose, and create a massive impact in the world just by being you. Your superpower is within you, and you were put on this earth at this point in time to create a difference. It's an exciting time to be alive. We're seeing a massive shift in the way that we do things. The old patriarchal ways are crumbling. And just in our lifetimes, we've gone from not having mobile phones and internet to not being able to live without them. We're seeing AI now come into the space and shift the landscape of what it looks like in our workplaces. But that's also creating more space for us to be creative and innovative and show up in the world. But because of this too, we also need to show up authentically, more authentically, and claim our space in the world. Your power is your presence. It's time to show up and claim what's rightfully yours without fear of judgment. Because let's be honest, this is the number one thing that's holding you back: fear. Am I right? But think about this for a moment. Fear only ever shows up when we think about the future. We never fear the past. And the definition of fear is false evidence appearing real. These fears create what we call limiting beliefs and condition our mind on what we believe to be true. They act as mental barriers that restrict us from taking risks, pursuing our dreams, and achieving success. We make up stories in our head and we invite our good old friend imposter syndrome along for the ride. And we tell ourselves things like, I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, I'm not pretty enough, what will people think of me? And sometimes we fear the things that we want the most, like fear of success. You think, well, who am I to do this? What will happen if I actually succeed at this? How will that change everything else in my world? Where will I fit into my current circle of friends and family? What will that do to my relationship with my partner? The opposite of that is obviously fear of failure. How will I look if I fail? What will people think of me again? And again, what is it going to mean for my family if I fail at this? Then you've got fear of rejection. But if you don't ask, you don't get. We're all going to get a lot of no's, and we all start by getting a lot of no's, but that doesn't mean you're not winning. It just means you're finding what's in alignment for you. And when you start to get those yeses, you're going to get more yeses. And you're going to start magnetically attracting the right people into your world. But we all start with the series of no's, a series of failures, because then nothing is ever failing. It's just learning. What about fear of money? We've all grown up hearing those stories. Things like money is evil. We've all got stories in our head around money. But money is one of the biggest ones we face as business owners because we have an uncapped potential to earn as much as we want. Although we're only going to be able to hold as much as we think we can energetically hold, right? So the stories that we hear growing up, money doesn't grow on trees, money's hard to come by. It's that 9 to 5 conditioning. It's really limited. It's really restricting. It's controlling. And your only job just over broke, right? You're only just earning enough to cover everything. But it's that mentality that we've grown up with. But it also affects our self-worth. We continue to second guess ourselves and question our worthiness. So as well as being able to earn an uncapped potential, you need to be able to hold it as well. So even myself in my own business, I've had times where I've had kick-ass months and then I've not been able to replicate that, or I've not been able to hold on to it. It goes out as fast as it comes in. Because, sometimes your beliefs haven't quite caught up with the reality that you've created for yourself. So this is why it's really important to keep doing the personal development work so that you can keep breaking through that glass ceiling that you keep creating for yourself. Every level, there's something else. And you just continually have to keep doing the work. When you know your worth and you can confidently charge appropriately, it will be a game changer. I think the biggest elephant in the room, though, particularly with women, is when it comes to sales. A lot of women fear sales. They fear asking for money, particularly in the beginning, when you're just starting out. You discount, you give your clients everything, and then you give them some more just because you want them to like you. But in all fairness, the hard sell bro marketing tactics just don't work anymore. People are really aware of them. Those NLP techniques. Yes, there's sales psychology that we can kind of gently apply to things, but we don't need to be heavy-handed with that, to help people's buying decision. Because those hard sell bro marketing tactics are quite icky. I know you've felt it before. They don't necessarily result in those raving fan clients that we want. And they tend to come from a place of greed over service, right? So there's a masculine way of selling and there's a feminine way of selling. So when you start using your intuition and you ask yourself, is this the right fit for me? Is this the right person I need to be working with? Will I be honoring both of us by working together? When you know your value and you show your value, your clients will turn up for you, ready to pay. Alignment is a full body process. It's not about everything that's going on in your head. It involves your heart, it involves your gut and your intuition so that you can embody that full hell yes. When we step out of our comfort zone, it triggers a fear response. So fear has a place as it's meant to keep us safe, but it's embedded in a low frequency part of our ego, right? It tries to keep you wherever you feel normal, whatever feels normal for you, but normal doesn't necessarily mean it's good for us, right? But as soon as you start pushing the boundary and trying to step out of that, what's normal, it's like a rubber band. So you think about a slingshot, right? When you have that tension, that resistance, you've got two choices. You can snap back or you can snap forward. You can break through that limiting, that limitation. So that's what happens when you push through your fear. You see what's on the other side, and quite often it's quite magical. It's like you've been living in a cave and there's this beautiful oasis outside, but you had no idea it was there because you were too scared to go and look outside. And then you look outside and you go, wow, there's so much magic out here, right? So let's talk about self-worth for a minute, because if you lack self-worth, then you start self-sabotaging. We all get stuck in cycles of perfectionism and procrastination, and we avoid imperfect action. Sometimes we even disguise self-indulgence as self-care. Like I totally believe in self-care, but it gets to a point where you're just not doing the hard things. Tell me if you can relate to that. Okay. So if you can identify where this fear is coming up for you, you can start to recognize your self-sabotaging habits and you can start to relinquish the power that they're holding over you. So are you procrastinating in showing up, in launching something? Are you doing things that are creative but aren't really making you any money? Are you in Canva making all these cool, things to post, but not actually doing anything with them? Creating freebies and not actually finishing the funnel. Or are you getting stuck in perfectionism? You're just fiddling and playing and moving stuff around and changing colors. And, instead of just going, you know what, I'm just going to go. I'm ready. I'm just going to say, yeah, it's done. Just take massive imperfect action and don't worry about people judging you. It's none of your business what other people think of you. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves instead of worrying about you. What if instead of being judged, you're actually being inspiring? Yes, people are always watching. And that's why you should just keep showing up, imperfect and messy, because that's life. That's what people resonate with. Now, in saying that, you still need to do what feels right for you in the way that you show up. Vulnerability is a big one. Sometimes that's hard for people to show up in their vulnerable state. In my human design chart, I have the gate of privacy in my North Node, which means I need to reflect on my experiences before I share them. I find when I'm going through something, I really need to process it fully before I share it. Sometimes even with my inner circle, right? That's what's in alignment for me. That's what comes up in my human design chart. I was at a human design conference a couple of weeks ago. I was doing the photography and videography for the conference. It was 3 days. And the people that were there had been studying this for years. I know enough that I know a little bit about myself, but that's kind of where my knowledge of it, I've helped other people look at their own charts. But yeah, that's kind of where my knowledge, because it's so in depth. It's so in depth. So a lot of what was happening at the conference, I was getting little bits and pieces of it, but I wasn't absorbing it fully. And obviously I was working as well, so it's a bit hard to absorb. But I did also learn so much about myself and how I've been conditioned and where I need to decondition. Because it's when you can decondition from what you've been taught and what you thought to be true, that's when you can find true alignment in yourself and you can find ease and grace in your daily life. The more you understand yourself, the easier it is to identify what's yours and what's not yours, what feels right for you and what you've picked up from somewhere else. Name it to shame it. Once you identify these things, they lose their power. Once you can identify it, you can unpack the deeper layers of your avoidance, look at the fear, look at what's coming up underneath it, and then move on. You've named it. You've figured it out. There's nothing more to it. So how are these habits serving you? How is it holding you back? What is not taking action costing you? What would happen if you just let it all go? You said, I don't care anymore. What would happen if you didn't? When it comes to your purpose and what you're here to do, I want you to start thinking about the bigger picture and how you can get out of your own way. It's time to drop the need for perfection and aim for pure connection. This is where your superpowers will shine. Focus on creating relationships and nurturing them, and this will help you to come from a place of service and intuitively sell to your clients so they feel like they got everything they came to you for and more. They'll become repeat clients and your biggest raving fans. Okay, I've got a little activity that I want to do together with you. So I want you to think about what you've been avoiding or what you're too scared to initiate. Now, to do this, I want you guys to close your eyes because I just want you to feel into your body and I want you to feel where that resistance is coming up for you. You know, it might feel, like a stickiness. It might feel like a stiffness. I want you to really think about, how it's showing up in your body. Is it sharp? Is it hard? Like what does it feel like and where are you feeling it in your body? Because wherever this is coming up for you in your body, this might give you clues on what it is and how you can shift it, right? So the other thing is it could be yours or it could be someone else's. These are the things that get passed down to us from our parents and through our DNA, through generations. But once you can shift it for yourself, you're not only shifting it for you, but you're shifting it for your kids and future generations, which is really cool. Once we do the work, we're not passing it down any further. So wherever this is coming up for you, so if it's shoulders and hips, that could be feeling supported. Now, the left side is feminine, the right side is masculine. So if you're feeling, tension in your shoulders, in your hips, I get a lot on my left side, which is the feminine side, because you're not feeling supported in that space. Your heart and stomach, self-worth, that power center. Your knees might be showing you that, you're not confident in your direction. Your neck might be showing you that you're just not being flexible enough. So I want you to identify the one thing that you feel is really holding you back. And I want you to ask yourself 5 whys. Now, I'm going to give you an example. And if you want to go away and do this later, that's fine. But just write down one thing that's holding you back, 5 whys. And I'll give you an example of how this works. So, why do you feel that your website needs to be perfect before you make it live? Because people won't take me seriously if it has mistakes. Why won't people take you seriously? Because they'll think I'm not good enough. Why aren't you good enough? Because I wasn't very good at English at school. Why do you think you weren't good at English at school? Because I didn't think like everyone else. Boom. This is your superpower. I'm going to share something with you. So did you know that many successful business owners are diagnosed with ADHD, ASD, or dyslexia? I put this question to AI, to Gemini, which is inside of Google. And now Gemini's job is to scour Google and get the answers and tell you where they got them from. So the good thing about this is you can say, I only want these sources, or, you can give it parameters to make sure that the information that you're getting is what you want. But basically, yeah, it scours Google, gives you the sources of the information. So I'm going to share this slide with you just so that you can see the impact of this. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Okay, so research suggests there's a higher prevalence of these conditions among entrepreneurs compared to the general population. Studies suggest people with ADHD are 500% more likely to be entrepreneurs. 500%. Estimates suggest 35% of entrepreneurs have dyslexia compared to 15% of the general population. And some studies suggest up to 40% of self-made millionaires may be dyslexic. So as you can see, there's a significant overlap in neurodiversity and entrepreneurial success. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are on the spectrum or anything like that, but I've noticed a lot of women in this space have been diagnosed recently. You know, it's harder to pick up in women. And I've been on this journey with my daughter, and I had coffee with a friend, one of my human design friends, last week, and we were laughing because we were both like, tell me you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD. She was looking at my computer and the 500 tabs I've got open and the 600,000 emails that are unread in my inbox. And I was like, yeah, maybe. But she could relate. She was exactly the same. Tell me if you can relate to this. Is it something that, you know, you've always got 5,000 tabs open? I find myself leaving all these tabs open. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to, you know, write a paragraph here and do a Canva thing there, you know, like do an invoice here. It's not necessarily productive. But yeah, I've always got 5,000 tabs open. I need to, yeah, really focus a little bit more sometimes. But yes, I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, your superpower might be the thing that you think is holding you back. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about AI. I just shared with you a little bit about Gemini, but AI is coming, right? We're going to have to embrace it. You can put your head in the sand, you'll get left behind. But find ways to utilize it in your business to keep doing more of the income producing activities, you know, or more of the things that bring you joy. I have to admit, AI does scare me when it comes to authenticity, creating photos and videos, which you can do now, it's insane if you've seen it, because I believe our energy speaks before we do. You know, it compromises our authenticity, but it does give you the ability to increase your bandwidth, think bigger, and play a bigger game. You know, we become the directors of our own movies. We can free up some of our thinking brain to dive more into the energetic and creative aspects of our business. AI increases consciousness because it enables us to think bigger and be more expansive. It will be able to take away anything that can be replicated or duplicated, but what it can't replicate is our energy as human beings, our connection to one another, our authentic experience, our human experience. Now, when it comes to business, there's no one size fits all. There's no one strategy that's going to work for everyone. There's no magic pill. Sorry to say it, there's not. There's only alignment. Whatever is in alignment for you is going to work. Whatever is not in alignment for you is not going to work. I've learned from experience, just, you know, trying to follow what other people are doing and generally finding it's not in alignment for me, and it just leads to burnout. So if you feel like you're stuck on the hamster wheel and you can't get off, perhaps it's just that it's not in alignment for you. So when you're out of alignment, you start acting from your not self and trying to prove yourself and pretending to be something that you're not. The more you understand yourself and take self-responsibility, the more authentically you'll show up in the world, and you'll start to magnetically attract the people and the opportunities that were meant for you. You'll start manifesting from a really powerful place, and you'll start to see unexpected shifts happening really quickly. Okay, so we're jumping into manifesting now. Now, I'm sure you've heard the term manifesting. Maybe you think it's a bunch of woo-woo nonsense. Maybe you've tried it and you just don't even know how it works, right? But It's actually quantum physics. The trick is you need to embody it for it to actually work. So you've probably also heard of 3D, 4D, 5D. This relates to our energetic frequency, and we can oscillate back and forth throughout the day. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to choice. What you choose to feel and experience is what you're going to subconsciously call in as your reality. I'm going to go back to my slides now. Let me share my screen again with you. Okay. All right, so this is the consciousness scale. Okay, so you can see down the bottom of that funnel, we've got suffering. We were talking about fear. You've also got guilt and shame and grief down here as well, right? So this like attracts like. When you're stuck here, it's like a big black hole. It's really hard to get out. But when you can move through the emotions and you can come from a place of love and joy, that's when you start to find that expanded flow state. That's when you start to magnetically attract all the amazing opportunities that were meant for you. You know, this is a choice. You get to choose in every moment how you feel about a certain situation, how you react to a certain situation, the self-responsibility that you take in that moment, which is really cool, right? It's not that hard to shift from fear to a place of love. It's not that hard. And, you know, it's like everything, it takes practice. It's just another tool in your tool belt. All right, let me stop sharing that again. Coming back to you. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, when it comes to manifestation, it's a full body process. We set the intention, we feel the desired outcome as if it's already done, and we take inspired action to make it a reality. Embodying it, head, heart, and soul, right? Everything is created twice, once in our thoughts and then once in our reality. Nothing exists in the physical without first existing in the ethereal. We need to use all of our senses to see, hear, taste, and feel the desired outcome. This is, you know, how people succeed in sports and that sort of thing. They imagine what it's like to be on that field. They imagine what it's like to hear the crowd. They imagine what it's like to hold that trophy, right? Throughout this process, though, we need to be fluid as to how this will manifest in our reality. You can't hold on too tightly about how you feel it's going to play out. You just make it harder on yourself, right? So to find your flow, you need to let go a little bit to the how. So think of it like a stream or a river, and you're in the middle, you're holding onto a rock. The stream is obviously trying to take you in a certain direction. You can hold onto the rock, you can push against the water flow. You're really just making it hard on yourself. If you let go and you surrender to the flow, you're going to get where you need to go, you know, with ease and grace, with a lot less fight. Sometimes it's just a matter of letting go to the how, surrendering to the process, and seeing where it takes you. This year for me has been a lot of surrendering, a lot of shifting of realities, but it's also brought along many new and exciting opportunities. But to invite in the new, first you need to let go of the old concepts, the old materialistic things that you're just holding on to, the old ways of doing things. So I made the decision that I wanted to get rid of my commercial studio, photography studio. It just doesn't feel in alignment for me at the moment and where I want to go. So I started by clearing it out, you know, getting rid of everything that was no longer needed, going to the dump, listing things on Facebook Marketplace. I let the universe know I was ready. I was ready to let it go. And all of the sudden, all these new opportunities started like just coming out of nowhere, you know, directions and options to start up new things, speaking opportunities, business collaborations. You know, it all started happening really quickly. Now I'm still working on getting rid of, you know, the lease, but I put things in motion. And even that was a tough decision for me to make because it's been a huge part of my identity. You know, my ego was saying to me, oh, does that make you a failure? You know, if you've no longer got your photography studio. Of course, that's BS. It just opens up space to do other things and go in other directions. So once you let the universe know your intentions and you start taking inspired action, things start really happening for you and not to you. This is a great quote from Gandhi. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny. Your present personality creates your present reality. I've learned from experience that you need to balance the magical and the practical. I like to marry energetics, quantum physics, and strategy. It's a dance between the masculine and the feminine aspects because your energy speaks before you do. When you walk into a room, you feel someone's presence, right? You know who you want to walk up to and talk to. You're attracted towards them, but also there might be people in the room that repel you. You want to walk in the opposite direction. That's perfect. That's how we do business. That's how you find your ideal clients. You find the ones that bring you joy and fulfillment, and you're magnetically attracted to them. And this energy piece works with everything, whether you're in real life or you're online. If you're marketing and you're showing up from a place of lack and scarcity and desperation, nothing is going to work. Like attracts like. You are just attracting more of the same. And desperation, people can smell it a mile away. If you come from a place of love, joy, and abundance, you're just going to attract more of the same. All right, we're going to do another little exercise. And we're going to start working on your future identity, future you, stepping into your big queen energy and what that looks like for you. So again, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to go to your dream house. Where is it? Is it up in the mountains? Is it down at the beach? Is it a penthouse in New York? And I want you to imagine waking up in this house. You're lying in bed and you're listening to the sounds outside. What can you hear? Can you hear the waves? Can you hear the birds? Can you hear the traffic outside? What can you smell? Can you smell the leaves, freshly cut grass, the salty air? Can you smell coffee or breakfast being made for you by someone that you love? How do you start your day? Do you do some stretching, some yoga, go for a run? Maybe you've got a personal trainer that comes to your house. Perhaps it starts with ceremonial cacao, journaling, meditation. Now, you're about to get started on your workday. Imagine yourself sitting there, whether it's in your home or a swanky office. Maybe you're in a TV studio. You're doing what you're passionate about. You're creating impact in other people's lives, whether that's through one-to-one sessions, you're writing or you're speaking. You're surrounding yourself with like-minded people. These people believe in you. They believe in your vision. They're on the same path and they've gone before you. They inspire you as much as you inspire them. You're in your element. You're doing what you love. You're doing what you're passionate about. You're showing up. You're successful and you're changing people's lives. You're making enough money to give back and support the causes that mean a lot to you. You're creating an even bigger impact with the money you're earning doing what you love. How does that feel? Where can you feel it? Is your heart expanded? Do you feel powerful in your solar plexus? Do you feel grounded and whole and complete? How does it feel? All right, come back to me. That was a short but really powerful process. This is how you can step into your future identity. Let me know in the comments if you want to share a little bit about what came up for you. The last time we did this, everybody had such profound experiences, and they all were sharing them in the comments. So I've got another little quote to share with you. This is from Brené Brown. If you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked on occasion, I'm not interested in or open to your feedback. There are a million cheap seats in the world today filled with people who will never be brave, with their own lives, but they will spend every ounce of energy they have hurling advice and judgment at those of us trying to dare greatly. Their only contributions are criticism, cynicism, and fear-mongering. If you're criticizing from a place, but you're not putting yourself on the line, I'm not interested in your feedback. If you've liked today and you'd like to go deeper and really step into your big queen energy, I'd like to invite you to join me in Inspired and Aligned. This is a 12-week incubator where we unpack your highest vision and your purpose. We break down your limiting beliefs, step into true alignment, and take quantum leaps on your reality. I believe you have the power to believe in yourself, smash through your excuses, and create a massive impact. And I'd like to offer you the energetic and emotional support to create an aligned strategy, take inspired action, and create a new reality. I've got it up here on my screen. I'm just going to share this with you again so that you can see what it's like inside of Inspired and Aligned. Okay. So we integrate strategy, action, connection, energy, and technology through the 6 fields of your body. We start on the 1st of July. There's 2 payment plan options. Now, hopefully, if I flick over here, you can still see my screen. Now, the early bird was supposed to finish on the 15th, but I had no intention of doing another one of these today. So I have extended the early bird for another 24 hours. So it will go until the end of tomorrow. If you're watching this and you want to jump in, I've extended the early bird for another 24 hours. So you can save 20% on the program. So if you're paying in full, that works out to less than $100 a week. It's probably, I think it's about $86 to really shift things for you and help you step into your big queen energy. So it'll help you to show up confidently in the world and claim your space. We're going to map out your strategy and your future vision and the steps to get you there. So by finding what's in alignment for you and creating a business and a personal brand that feels authentic and aligned. In the process, I'll be your cheerleader and I'll also be your ass kicker when you start self-sabotaging yourself. I'm here to lead you into your biggest expansion yet. So some of the things that we're going to cover inside of the mastermind, like I said, unpacking your highest vision and purpose, mastering your energy, balancing the strategy, the energetics, and taking quantum leaps, trusting your intuition and recognizing the signs that you're on the right path. So using your body as a guide, finding the alignment, the people, the strategy, the energy, strategic partnerships, understanding your own value and self-worth. I've got an I am worthy protocol that I take my clients through. The limiting beliefs, the rules, the bullshit rules and the shoulds. What's yours? What's not yours? What can you let go of? Protecting your energy. That's really important as well. Money stories, glass ceilings, visibility strategies. We start with a brand audit. We tackle imposter syndrome. We go through self-sabotage, manifestation, and of course, the strategy and the automation and the building your team so that you can stick to what you're good at. So imagine how much you can change in 12 weeks and how much you can earn once you implement those changes, feeling confident in your self-worth and your value to bring in those ideal clients. What would it mean to feel confident in yourself and your business, to have a strategy that feels aligned with who you are and what you want to create? How much would that be worth to you? I could literally charge 10 times the price of this, and I know coaches that do. But this is only 12 weeks. I know in 12 weeks, you're really only just starting to step into your big queen energy, starting to rise into your greatness. And of course, there's always other opportunities to work together, whether it's in the photography space or in the coaching space. But I want you to see what's possible for you and just get started on this journey. I can't wait to be a part of this with you. I'm going to pop the link in the comments so that you can sign up, join. It's been amazing sharing this time with you today. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you want to connect with me, we can always jump on a call if you want more information about the Inspired and Aligned Mastermind. Thank you so much for sharing this with me today. I can't wait to see what happens for you tomorrow once you've started to put these processes into place. Please let me know how it goes for you. Thank you so much, and bye for now.